Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Collar Business Podcast, where we discuss the realest, rawest, most relevant stories and strategies behind building every corner of a blue collar business. I'm your host, Cy Kirby, and I want to help you in what it took me, trial and error, and a whole lot of money to learn. The information that no one in this industry is willing to share. Whether you're under that shade tree or have your hard hat on, let's expand your toolbox. Welcome back to the Blue Collar Business Podcast, guys, sponsored and presented by Sycon Excavation and Utilities. We do have a presenting sponsor now. It should be on the screen for your viewing pleasure. And you can be too if you think of somebody in the blue collar working space that might would like to get their brand, product, service out there in a broader spectrum. We have had some intriguing numbers here as of late, and the audience is growing, and I can't thank you guys enough. Today, I have got all about landscaping, and we've been talking about, we've had concrete, we've had engineers, we've had financing guys, we've been all over the blue collar market, but one that everybody seems to, as I know you guys will agree, everybody wants to jump into and think they can do a better job than you with a wheelbarrow and an S10, and they think they're a landscaper. So we're here to talk about that today, but we're also we're going to talk about their success because they've been in business like myself, not 10 plus, 20 plus years working and guiding, and it's kind of cool that my sister is also involved through all of this, and it's going to be a very loose conversation. Their success, I've been praying for it, watching it. They've been doing it right, focused on culture, focused on core values, the things that, as you guys know, I'm very concerned with at Sycon. And furthermore, guys, Eric Hill and Amanda Rhodes of Fay-Ark Lawn Company, thank you guys so much. Seriously.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I know. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity here in podcastvideos.com studio. They got to join me here in Rogers, Arkansas. Luckily, they're local here to Northwest Arkansas.
Yep.
How I've been following along with the Fay-Ark story, senior trucks. I thought the branding was very well. You're very well branded. There's a gentleman here that has a podcast here that would definitely agree with y'all's branding and the approach and pushing the branding. And as you guys know, I've done a lot of branding myself, and a little later to the game than you guys were. I mean, you started off right from the get-go, making sure everything matches. And you guys know, I see you guys all the time. Yep, there they are. Oh, there they are. Oh, there they are. And
awesome.
So it's really, really cool. But tell us a little bit about you guys and how you got started.
Yeah, so I started this in high school, 2018. So we're in business a little over 6 years now. Mm-hmm. Started mowing grass just for inside money. Same thing through my senior year. I was just looking to make some money, get through school. Was going to go work for my dad, who owned Hill Electric. That was my plan.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I grow it through senior year. I have wrist surgery that fall from a football injury after I graduate. And after I healed up, I was like, my dad's like, all right, it's time to go get signed up for school, all that stuff.
Do something.
I went and got signed up for electric school, filled all the paperwork out, and told them I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So, because just in my heart, I didn't feel like it's what I wanted to do. But so.
And you grew up around it too, dude.
Yeah.
Like your whole life was Sparky pliers and Klein tools, and you know all about that with mechanics and snap-ons and So I could only imagine, but continue.
Yeah. So I've learned a lot from them because they've owned a business for over 20 years. So, but decided to do this and see where it'd go. They were frustrated with me, concerned, because they're my parents.
Of course they are.
What are you going to do in the winter? I said, well, probably nothing, because I live at home, because I don't have much of a customer base.
Right.
But we made it through, and I lived at home at the time and had no expenses.
Hey man, I was there answering the same questions, dude. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So fast forward in 2020, 2021, and all the way to today, like it's been fast growth.
Yeah.
And I've managed a lot of it by myself, and that's kind of where Amanda came in. It was 2022, and we were running 5 crews at that point, which me managing everything in the office.
Buddy,
and
I know all about it.
Yeah, all that stuff. It wasn't working. I wasn't getting back to customers, and that's kind of where
And you start to feel like a hindrance to your own business. It's a terrible feeling.
100%.
Yeah, man.
Well, and at that point, the office is the spare bedroom in the back of the house.
I feel you. Been there.
Yeah. So, because unless it rained, I wasn't doing any office work unless it was sending a quote or sending a bill. So.
Sales is everything, and collecting that money is what makes this thing go. And that's the exact same focus. I wish I had more focus on sales up front. Anyway, sorry to keep cutting you off.
Yeah. So it's been fast growth. Today we've got 16 guys. We'll surpass a little over 3.3 million this year.
That's freaking awesome.
So in 6 years.
6 years, dude.
Yeah.
And
so.
Wow, that is epic.
Yeah, we've been very blessed to say the least, and I just.
I know you guys, to your own question earlier, hey, what are you going to do in the winter? You guys do quite a bit of snow removal, too.
A ton.
Yeah. We do it on and off. We've got, of course, bigger gear, wheel loaders, and et cetera. But, man, I've lost my butt every single time I do it. I'm not set up to do it. I don't have the snow plow attachments. And every time I go to buy them, it's a dry year, and we don't get any snow. And so... And again, I don't have the admin staff. Now I do. Back then I did not. And we did a little bit last year for some interworking clients, but have you been able to do the snow removal thing profitably?
It's because it's not budgeted, because it's a toss-up if it snows here.
Understood.
It's not in the budget. So technically it's basically all profit because it's not budgeted. So
most of that equipment's paid for, I would assume. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, because snow, it turns into reinvesting more into snow, and then having a little bit of cash to have a jump start in the spring. So it's been great, except when you don't get paid by people on certain things that we're still fighting from last year.
And that was literally the biggest argument I had about doing snow removal. We did this is 21, 20, I can't remember. We had 2 snowstorms within a week. We got dumped on, and we just stayed an entire week, kept machines running, but I had so many breakdowns and with skid steers, and again, not having they make such cool snow removal equipment nowadays that you can be efficient and literally one guy around, and I've got 3 or 4 guys going around shoveling, and just didn't ever work out for me. It never did, right? But that's really cool that you've already got your gear paid off, sitting there. That way, when it does come winter, there is a chance in that December to February slow period you can just bam go get it.
Yep.
And stack. That's so cool, man.
Yep.
And so we got a few mowing crews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so in 2023, I made the decision. Is 2022 that we're going to sub a lot of our mowing, and in 2023 we subbed all of it, 100% of it, and 2023 I lost focus a lot of what the goal is here. We did all projects, got into dirt sifting, we lost our butt on it, and I wasn't focused. I thought we could make money doing anything, and truth is, you can't. You make money on what you focus on.
You bet, buddy.
And
that is knowledge right there.
By the end of 2023 is all right, kind of is, say, January 1st, 24. It's like, here's our goal. Here's the plan. We're sticking to it. If I say any other crazy idea that I'm going to go do, stop me.
I will stop you. I will stop you.
Because
I'm telling you, dude, I know you're talking about myself over here. I was the same way, and I just went through 24, and not only did I didn't necessarily lose focus of where we're going. 24 was just such a freaking brutal year in general, from where we've been, going since 16, and this year, first time we've ever seen a revenue dip. But at the same time, there was things that I lost focus on. Number one being sales, and sales has to be your number one focus. But I was definitely developing a marketing plan, and I'm pulled in so many different ways. And then I lost my project manager in July, and I really had to just go to the core of the onion and go, this don't taste good. but I've got to fix this or I'm not going to be anything. And what am I doing here? What am I doing there? And literally very publicly with my team, letting them look up the skirt, kind of say, and go, hey guys, I've steered the ship wrong and we're going to flip this around. I need your help. There's some guys that are going to lose faith, etc. But that's all part of it, man.
Yep.
And so to be honest about that is a big thing. Don't skip over that. Now there's guys that go years unfocused and years of no growth, stagnant. I know a utility contractor that did a race out to $2 million and did $2 million for 15 years. And now they're sold out and made a very, very, very good exit. But there was 15 years of stagnant. No change, no developing, no growth, no nothing.
No growth for your people is the biggest thing in that.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And we were talking about culture, and culture is a big thing. And the cool thing is that, we're sitting here of an age that it's a little different than what we were offered, in the job marketplace.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There wasn't a place I could go. I kind of caught some hate about a little bit of know your purpose within a video we did on Sycon's YouTube channel. Literally, I just hated the environments that I worked in. It's not that I hated the job, I hated the work. I actually enjoyed it, found passion in it. But at the same time, the environments and the things that I went through just to be an employee wasn't okay. But as a business owner sitting across the table from you guys, I can sit here and say I've swung so hard to obtain culture that it has cost me quite a bit of money going the wrong way, chasing the wrong culture.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, so just going back on what we are now. So we have 2 mowing crews, 2 flower bed maintenance crews, so 9 crews total, 2 irrigation trucks, and then 2 landscape trucks.
Jeebus, buddy.
Yeah, so we're pretty, I say even, but we're trying to grow maintenance because we want to serve our customers. We'll obviously get enhancements to make their property look better on top of that. But that's our focus. And then installing quality landscape projects and then maintaining them after that. So
yeah, you're not only you're getting the service after the sale. That's the biggest downfall in the blue collar sector in our world.
Especially site work.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yo, dude, my guys in our side, it's landscapers that follow up. I could list off quite a few that are here locally. It's a joke. And there is no delineation line of here's where we stop and we take a little bit of pride and backfill up against the curbs and the sidewalks where you don't have to eat 6 or 7 extra loads of topsoil that wasn't budgeted. And then you go back to the contractor and they're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. The site guy said he was perfect, you know, and I know you guys have dealt with that argument, but that's crazy. 9 working crews.
Well, and with the property maintenance, when we looked at that and we looked at the sub work we were putting out there, what we were getting back, I looked at this in the office and I'm like, I'm getting complaints. Our standard out there is going down because our subs are not bought in our culture.
Nope. They never will be.
No, and we can say, I can make phone calls, and yes, ma'am, but the truth is my clients and our customers are not getting what we want to give them. And so bringing that back in-house, working on training, making that 100% it has to happen.
A focus.
It's a focus. Absolutely.
Yep. They want to see the brand. They want to see the black truck sitting out front of their house or out front of their business.
That's the invoice they pay.
Yep.
And I learned the hard way myself a little bit on that. Not as much because mowing, how many customers are you serving a week in that capacity? Or monthly, how about that? Either one.
I bet we're at 100-ish customers, but 140 properties.
But again, that's our winter sales, right? I know that's guaranteed for my guys. We're
You bet.
feeding families. We have men who are wonderful leaders of their home, and we give them the best we can environment so that they can grow, they can learn, and they're absolutely bought in our culture. They speak our core values. As a matter of fact, our guys brought us a core value. We had 4 that we stood really strong on, and this spring they came to us and they said, "Look, guys, we want to add one in there," and we heard them out, and the word that they chose was integrity.
That's so cool.
We thought that was amazing and awesome.
To come from your team, man. That's really cool, man. And it's hard. You'll have guys that are completely bought in the system, just from my own experience, that will fade from the system. They will, and they'll lose that rejuvenated spirit. Let's go take over the world. So it's a constant culture thing, right? It's not just here's culture and this is how we're going to move. It's a constant working, and I've seen you guys' LinkedIn posts about how you guys are integrating with the team and sitting down with the team, things that I wish I did a little bit more of, because I know the system integration that you guys are performing, it's probably going over pretty well.
Honestly, it's probably for me, my mentor, she's amazing, and she helps give me amazing ideas or help me round out the ideas I'm wanting to implement. I want team builders for my guys, but I don't want a Google one. I want one that's going to mean something to them that is relatable in our industry.
You bet.
And I know Eric's in his office with his mentors doing the same kind of thing.
You have to.
We want to deliver the best for them.
And it's a weight that nobody really talks about, too, because there's a lot of bad entrepreneurs out there, right? And don't get me wrong, I take my hat off to any entrepreneur. I don't care how you do it. If you run a business, hats off to you, because it's not freaking easy. It is easy to do it wrong. It's hard to do it right, and especially adding something like culture in the mix of it. But nowadays, that's what people want to be a part of.
Yep.
And if you don't have something for them to per se to buy in, especially a younger company like both of ours are under that decade mark, they have to have something they can sink their teeth in and know that the future looks bright. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what you're providing within that. And you guys spoke about core values. Kind of talk about those for just a second.
So they're take ownership, love others, be positive, always be growing, and integrity. So like kind of where it was like, all right, we got to have these. Like we'd always like, they're always on a paper, like we're changing them, but it's like we have to operate off of these because it's just beyond like 1-2 people to manage. We can't sit there and manage every single crew.
Nope.
Those core values manage our company. And kind of where it stemmed from is like end of last year, we had a hard talk with all of our guys, and we went through everything that's going wrong. And it's like, here's where we're messing up. Here's how we are fixing it in the office. New software's helped with a lot of it.
Shoot, I think we got down to 6 people besides Eric and I.
Mm-hmm.
We got down to 6 people in our company.
Yeah, because it was, again, people didn't fit. We just weren't having it. Even if they're great at the work. We fired a great irrigation tech. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he doesn't fit in our culture.
I totally get it.
So,
and you can have those workability conversations and direction changing conversations, but 2 or 3 of those and there's zero effort being applied there, what are you going to do? At that point, You're just wasting your own time. So good on you for cutting that cord, because there's a lot of times that I can tell you within my tenure is just I didn't cut the cord fast enough. And it is 100% now a hire slow, fire fast mindset for myself. I'm literally got a few positions that are going to be open up that are extremely, extremely key roles in the next couple of months. And I am now taking 30, 60, 90 days and going to start putting feelers out there, because I have done the opposite of hire fast and fire slow. Mm-hmm. And man, it just, not only does it kill your pocketbook, kill margins, it kills morale, because now the good ones don't even want to excel because they're dealing with toxicity of these bad ones. You know what I mean? And
or they don't trust us to take care of it because we let it happen.
Exactly. And they're waiting on, a lot of times, Sarah has to remind me, they're waiting on us to lead. Like, we're leaders. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because we have to provide this grace, right? No matter what, as the owner, you got to provide this grace. And some days you just look at them and you're like, dude, how long you been here? This is like day one stuff. What are we dealing with? But then anytime the role is reversed and you're like, hey man, I'm learning too. You're like, what are you, what? Isn't this just like the biggest irrigation outfit in the country? Like, what do you mean you can make a mistake? And it's just no grace is given whatsoever. You're supposed to know everything. And I'm like, man, if I knew everything, you'd hate working here.
So I'll be completely honest with you. we really focused on that. When we got down to 6 people, we had a big meeting with each other and just looked at this and said, it comes down to core values. And Eric talked it through and through. I'm very lucky to have a wonderful boss that knows so much and is so strong as far as that goes with the business. And he really helped me develop my skills as far as being a support system for operations and, production or whatever that looks like on my end. And we took it to heart. We started listening. We listen to podcasts all the time. We have certain ones we listen to each week that we both know we're a part of, so we can get that meat out there.
Talk about it, converse about it. That's cool.
And the biggest thing that I think we did do was we made the core values a part of everybody's environment. We didn't just talk about it anymore. We put them on little cards that were 3x6. We laminated them. We stuck them on the dashes. We put them in their faces. They're in the books. They're on the drive. I mean, they can't get away from it. And they are bought. Yep, that's it right there.
Hey,
you like it? They all got them in their wallet.
Cool, dude.
Every new truck, every new,
Yeah, and you got to live by it. Yep.
And it starts at onboarding. It starts with the first phone call of, hi, I saw your ad. My name is so-and-so.
You
and
bet.
at that point, we've got questions. And everybody is transparent. Like, everybody knows what those questions should be.
Well, that kind of actually leans on this little bit of note I wanted to touch on. You say you just went down to 6, but you're also saying that we're at 16 now. What hiring strategies have you guys been using to find those reliable, culture-filled people?
I'd say a lot. Like at first, during COVID, 2021 was really hard. It seemed like we were rolling different guys every week. So I went through probably 40 people, I think, in 2020, 2021. And it's just like, I need someone to weed eat. Like, that's what I need. And kind of end of 2021, we got our first solid guy, first solid foreman.
Understood.
And older guy, and I'm this 21-year-old kid running around in a mower trying to tell him how to do his job when he's done it for 6 years.
No, I get it.
And he's like, if you talk,
Still with us. He's awesome.
If you talk to him now, he's like, yeah, I didn't know what this kid was thinking, but I stay here. And he
believed in you a little bit, eh?
Yeah, and he's seen it through, and he's like, he was skeptical of it because it's like, man, a lot of people talk about this, but not very many people do it, and
it's so easy.
He has stayed because of that, I really believe.
It's so easy to talk about, but it's one of the hardest things to do ever.
We have a guy so we've expanded down into Fort Smith this year, and we're doing lots of growth there. We have a guy who came on our plate maybe through a mishap of leadership on our end.
Bad manager in the spring, but came with him because he was from the previous company, and
he's, he was the guy who was always the helper in the back for this person that we had brought on, and was always in the background, always the crew member. And we just saw his heart. His heart matched our culture. His values matched our culture. And so that's how we talked to him. I was like, we choose you. We want you to step forward. We want to make you a foreman. We want to do these things. We exited the other guy. And he tells us all the time, he's like, I only stayed because of the culture. And, like, I know what this is for me and my family. He's like, I'm a better man because of what I'm here and the encouragement. That just blesses us so much.
Yeah, of course it does. It's your only pat on the back that you guys are really receiving.
He's implementing it in his family. It's beautiful.
That is fantastic. Anything that we can teach these guys and gals outside of the workplace to be better personal individuals. If you come to work at Sycon Excavation and Utilities and you're here for a 6-month period of time and I somehow didn't have some type of personal effect on you or the crew didn't, we failed you. And I feel terrible about that. And I've rolled through the guys. I can't tell you how many old heads that I've had to deal with that are so quick to throw a hard hat when I have, maybe an idea when they were training me, and now they want a paycheck from me. And when I started getting out there on the utility sites and doing site work, and it is you think a dirt guy, you think Q-tip, white hair, New Balance shoes and overalls out there spitting dip and telling you which way direction to drive the truck. And that isn't not what I'm trying to be anything about. That's like exactly the opposite. I want to bring professionalism, and it sounds a lot exactly what you guys are wanting to do. I mean, there's so many landscapers out there, right? And to be set apart within a high niche industry is hard. It's hard to do. So building into your culture, number one, for your own people is major, and it's going to show within your quality.
Right.
And I got to quickly telling myself earlier this year I lost the sense of our culture. The first 6 months of this year, I was being told I didn't have my eyes open. I had my blinders on, trying to handle ownership items, really be hyper vigilant about my time and where I'm associating it and how I'm spending it. But I wasn't focused enough on the field. And I had a guy back in February, he's like, smacked me around. He's like, hey man, look, you started this, and this is all because you were out there. You're trying to look at it 60 days from the time it happened and then ask the question. You need to find out when it's happening, why it's happening, and then spend 2 hours teaching the entire crew as to why this can't happen.
Find the pattern.
Exactly. And so that's what I have spent a ton doing. But while trying to focus on culture too is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is, and so we have foreman meetings once a month. And a lot of it was because we had a new software we were onboarding, and they had a lot to learn. And but it's turned into a meeting where we get to hear from them what they are seeing, and it's
just a check-in.
Yeah,
That's so good.
It cost us.
It's definitely structured, and we've learned a lot through the meetings as far as what not to do. You know, to be transparent, we used to discuss things that they would bring to us new, you know, and we realized we maybe not need to do that. And we do that in our meetings, and that way we can provide them with the support they need. And
going through the same thing.
Putting them together in a division instead of sitting wherever you want. I mean, there's little things that we've done to tweak the meetings that have just caused so much production. Like, it's really been fruitful.
Yeah, you don't want to...
They're very bought in.
I'm king of a 2-hour meeting. It's really bad.
We're chatty.
It's so bad. And to not go into a meeting with an agenda and this is what we're talking about, this is why, and this is why we need a decision by this date is completely counterproductive to what we're trying to do and begin with. And then by 2 hours is up, they're sitting there.
No, they're asleep.
They don't even care. Like, they don't remember.
We're super bought in.
Yeah, we're like,
lunch?
oh my God, I got all this new stuff I got to take
Fired
care
up.
of. Like, what is this? What is that? Billy needs this.
Exactly.
And we can't have Jesse upset, you know? And you're like, oh my God. And they're asleep and they just dumped all their problems on you.
Yeah.
And then you've got to sort through them. But
Well, that's the whole thing. Take ownership. They're taking ownership of their crew. They are over their crew. So whatever happens with them, it's because of them. We're here in the office to support them. And that's what we are. We're support to the crew because without them, there's no business.
That's right.
And we want them to be as effective as possible, work in the best environment as possible, even though it is landscaping and some days suck with the weather. But if they're happy and our customers are happy and we're on budget, everything flows.
100%, man. 100%. And not only that, customers are at the end of everything you just listed, you're going to be happy and your customers are going to be happy at the end of the day.
Yep.
And it is a fine line. It is a lot of extra to deal with. At the end of the day, you're just like, mow the dang yard, Bobby. Freaking just mow the yard and don't miss anything. Please just do it right if you don't mind. And take a little bit of pride, but we can't pay them to care and we can't pay them to take pride in it. And that's a lot of why I was pushing into the marketing stuff with being an underground contractor. 95% of what I do gets covered up to never be hopefully seen ever again. And so to push a little bit more pride and quality, you stick a camera down a ditch and they're like, oh, what is this thing? Oh, people are going to see. And then they start to see the result of what this camera's doing in the ditch. And they're like, oh, this is kind of cool. We don't want it to look like crap. And it just changed everything for us. But anyways, you've mentioned software a couple of times. Man, I have struggled. Woo, boy howdy, have we struggled with software implementation and onboarding. We dealt with a massive program called Procore, and a lot of the local GCs are on it. We're pushing into the commercial site work game, and I'm like, oh, we got to have it. So it'll be seamless with our customers. They can request anything on there. Let's go. Expensive little dude, and didn't even have a scheduling tool. Didn't have like mandatory tools that we needed. Exactly.
You would love our software. I need to get you on that.
We are currently using Builder's Trend is what we're using, and we've had some success. We're doing some different stuff on the sales side. But what software are you guys using? Tell me a little bit about it.
It's Aspire software. So Service Titan owns it. It's the landscape version of Service Titan.
Gotcha.
It is, I think, 100% the best software in our industry, hands down.
Sponsor?
Incredible.
Yeah,
It is incredible. So they're amazing. We're in contact with them all of the time.
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for better support. Eric and I tend to have wild ideas and want to implement fast and hard because that's how we operate for everybody here. We are fast and hard all the time.
You have to.
So when Eric brought me this software, I had never integrated a software before. And I started researching it, and I was like, okay, this is going to job cost for us. This is going to break numbers down. This is going to be so great for growth. And then we both looked at each other, and their normal onboard time is, 6+ months. And we looked at each other on our timeline for what we wanted.
And you laughed at it, and you're like...
We said, we have 90 days.
Yeah, because it was like December, and we're like, we got to have this rolling by spring.
By March.
Yeah, we have to have it rolling by spring.
So March 1 was our deadline, and... our implementation manager, Tandra, was amazing. She laughed at me multiple times. She heard me out when I cried in frustration. There's just a lot to it, but it was so incredible because I was able to take every piece of this business and put it somewhere so that we could have an operating software that worked for our customers. They worked for us. It made it simpler.
Handles the whole thing.
Right. We have found all of the breadcrumb, all the pennies on the table that we were missing for job costing or indirect labor or maybe just time standing around. I mean, we've refined our rollout in the morning to 25 minutes, and for a landscape company of our size, that is incredible.
Because it was 45 minutes the year previous. Because,
and then come and go.
Because
yes.
We've
or
had
McDonald's.
Yeah,
trust me, I get
no more coffee stops. Bring it with you.
It's just refining waste, and it's helped highlight that. Like
ice.
We have it's made us like
we brought ice in house.
Ice at the shop, water at the shop. We're gonna take care of them, but you're not gonna waste time.
Yep.
You're gonna go here to get on the job and do your job, but we want to take care of you.
Yep.
And our gross margin is up, I think, 8.5% compared to last year.
Awesome.
So from March
just from your
to
waste.
now, 7 months.
Yeah, and it's just the software because it tracks everything. It tracks time from the time they get in to the time they leave, and
Plus
we can allot that in any certain place.
And I have multiple support classes each week that I have my office manager on. I have my irrigation guy on, my field supervisors on a production call every Thursday. These people, I'm giving them every access to the support in the software. So they're getting on live, the folks who are help building and refining and taking our questions, and they're the people behind the emails. I have them on text. They are so supportive. I really don't run into anything. My strategy really in my office is I'm the sticky note queen, and everybody knows it. If there's a problem, I write it on a sticky, I put it down, it goes into my note, and as soon as that meeting starts, I'm asking questions, and we're live, and it's fixed.
Well, let me tell you something. Procore's implementation did not go like that.
Oh, no.
Nothing like that. And we literally restarted the program 3 different times. Still paid for it for the second year. It was almost 20 for the second year because it goes off employee count, et cetera, and it just was not for us. So we made some massive switch ups, and it was just so hard for the guys in the field. If you don't, I read something on LinkedIn. I know we're all involved pretty hard on LinkedIn. Basically, it was if you want bad information faster, more repetitively, have a crappy system of getting that in, for the guys to be able to...
Data deserves to be documented.
It's not about work you can do. It's about work you can document you've done, and especially against customer bases, and especially with high invoice counts that you guys have. I have nothing compared to that in a monthly spectrum, and you have to have that documentation because what are you going to do? Drive behind 40 mowers a day? I would assume it's 20 yards a day or 30 yards a day or whatever it is. You have to have some level of QC with that amount of invoicing and transactions happening and customer-based reports, et cetera. But, man, how does it transpire for your field guys to get the information that you want into the office where it is live enough that you can catch a job tracking or a labor tracking issue or a maintenance issue or whatever it is because they reported it, and you can go back and look, and then you can start moving forward on it. But no, our software implementation did not go nothing like that. It was terrible. And I can't tell you. I be blessed, because a lot of the guys I talk to, especially more in the dirt and site work world, it's very tailored, like just like the landscaping world. Like, it's the industry. We have high invoice count. I couldn't even imagine what all the things that you guys need, but you couldn't either on this side. And it is so specifically tailored, and you're trying to find this system that not only works for the industry and your local industry and matches the market, but at the same time, you want the results that you want out of it. So it's like, it's so hard to find, and then once you do find it, well, you've got to deal with some con of, oh, well, it's not easy for the customers to view, or it's not easy for the guys to input their daily logs, and that's the most vital information that you want out of this whole to begin with. So
People.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it has to work for the customer, it has to work for my guys out there in the field, and it has to work for us in the office. Aspire covers all those things. The customer portal that comes with the software system is incredible. We are able to do image carousels so that we can kind of update seasonally. It's interactive. They can put in a request. They see all their proposals, their invoicing. They've got cards on files. Everything is so quick.
Wow, right there. I didn't even think about, you guys are dealing with credit card transactions.
You have to.
Yeah.
As much as the residential customers like it, my AP guys from all of the commercials, they love that, because when they get asked a question from their boss, they are quickly pulling up that portal and they're like, absolutely, the visit date was here. It's time-stamped. And the guys can see everything that they need to. Leave a visit note. We've made that mandatory, so there's a visit note for everything.
Yeah.
That's and they do, we have a group text that we have with the field supervisor, the office manager, myself, Eric, and then the foreman. So if there's a problem, immediately we're all aware, and whomever is responsible for that jumps in, and the rest of us trust that they're going to take care of that. If we see a lull, we'll kind of jump in, but we allow everybody
accountability
that space.
Is everything, right?
Yeah, and communication through that, because
100%.
Like how quick we've grown, roles get mixed, and we daily and weekly. And
multiple hats, buddy.
Yeah, and it's part of growth. So like we streamlined communication as best as we could in the situation we're in, and then once we add another position, it'll change. But as long as everyone knows what's going on and customers being taken care of and it's all going right,
at the end of the day, it's that sale and are they happy, and Google reviews. I would assume you guys have a ton. That would be the number one focus I would be focusing on from a marketing aspect. High invoice. Is there a way that we can send that to them? If I was I've thought about this 100,000 times, and there's companies that I use that send me a ping after the service is done, shoot me a Google review, shoot us a review here. I know it sounds a little redundant, but at the same time, you want them when they're happy to give us a good review. Yep. And when they're pissed, maybe the review, you might save yourself a customer. You know what I mean? Hey, 1 star, I was pissed. Boom, you actually got them to actually talk to you, whether it's public or not. It sucks, but at the same time, it's not about mistakes we make, it's how we handle them. And that's kind of where I'm heading next is the competitiveness of landscaping. Well, first, before I move into that, if you guys have loved this episode and you've loved every other episode, I hope you guys have checked out bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com. That's where you can get in contact with us about sponsorships. You can see the rest of our episodes. That is all, I think, 16 or 17 that are now live, and coming more in the tank, and every single Wednesday coming at you live. So if you guys are on a streaming platform, if you wouldn't mind giving us a like or a follow, depending on what podcast streaming platform you are on. But don't need a subscription. You can head to bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com and check out the audio, visual, anything from the webpage. So back to it. The competitiveness in the landscaping world, other than the culture within your team, yes, that is 100% going to drive quality. That's going to drive other things. What are you doing marketing-wise? What are you doing outside to gain those customers? And if we've made mistakes, say with subcontractors, etc., how are we correcting those?
It's taking care of the customer if we screw up. Like if we screw up, we're going to fix it, because we are going to screw up. Things happen.
Mistakes are made. We're human.
Yeah, we're going to fix it, and the money doesn't matter, because it's staying behind your word. But marketing-wise, like, our website is built very well. and Einer's my best man. He's done our website since day one, and so it's nice because I know like we've set it up, and at that and Google, like Google My Business, we rank very high on because of SEO. That's probably the most important thing.
Yep.
Other than our trucks. Because
100%, dude.
Because like it's not about marketing, it's about branding. Because like if you see a black truck in their landscaping, you know it's us.
You bet.
And
we got the old little light. I call it the lightning bolts. It took me forever to figure out that it was just like this state of the Arkansas.
Yeah.
Took me a little bit.
So I got that from the University of Arkansas when they did that for one of their logos. That's where I got it from.
That's awesome. And why'd you go black?
My first truck was black, and I don't know. It's different. That's why.
Yep.
Because
it's very smart, man.
We got to stand out from every other company that has a white truck.
Yep. And every other landscaping construction guy. There's a same gentleman I talked about earlier. I got to give Mark Zweig a shout out here. He is a literal genius when it comes to the consulting, and he talks about the purple car a lot of times. And he had a engineering environmental. We deal with a density requirements. So basically they come out and test that compaction testing. Okay.
Yep.
So, they were a environmental firm reaching out to Zweig's consultant firm and talking about, hey, how do we stand out from the rest? And they consulted back and forth. And he's like, hey, paint every freaking vehicle you got purple. And they're, of course, conversed back and forth. We don't really want to be purple, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, telling you, and they stood by it and they did it. What it did do is, how about my guys that are sitting in the Traco, sitting out there on the job site, and comes across a general contractor. They had shown up in these purple cars so much, they became the purple car. Mm-hmm. And so when you're sitting there talking to a general contractor and like, hey, dude, where's your density tester at? Oh, I ain't got one for the job. Call the purple car, dude. And they every year doubled in growth, tripled in growth from what he had told in the story. And it's a testament to that. And man, I've wanted to do a little bit something different than white. It's eaten me alive, but at the same time, I'm on this cost with the marketing that we're already doing digitally. I haven't adjusted anything locally. We have a great local presence within, the cities and the entities that we have, but how do I start standing out as these out-of-towners start coming in? And that's exactly where I'm going is I want to be the orange trucks, or I want to be the whatever it is, the black truck. You said it earlier. They want to see the black truck pull up. You're exactly right. They do. And they see the, Fay-Ark on the logo of the invoice and in your portal, and it's plastered over there. And so if...
it's consistent all the way through.
Exactly. And I think that's, admirable that you were so focused on ensuring that you were taking a little taste of all of the industry, that you subcontracted your mowing out and you started mowing. Is that you're back to mowing within in-house, correct? Yep. Because of the customer relations that we had for a little bit. And dude, I've been the same way. Subcontractors, they just don't care like we do. And it's back to culture, right? Yep. And I got a pretty good feeling that your subcontractors aren't carrying the cool little core values in the back pocket of where they go. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
So we've kind of been all over the place. But when did hardscaping kind of come into the mix? I guess through the last couple of years?
Yeah, I'd say 2022, I think, is when we started doing a couple. Yeah. And it's just documenting, like, if we do a retaining wall, we're going to get pictures of it. And that's, I guess, that's another part of marketing is having quality pictures of our jobs and quality videos. And having that, like, for us, for residential people, we show our jobs and we show prices on our website.
Transparency, man, is everything.
All the way through. Because if they know, hey, this is going to cost $10,000 and I want something close to this, I'm going to call them.
Yes.
And people... shop us out because we're too expensive for the tire kicker, and they're shopping for the cheapest price.
100%.
Because we don't want that.
No, you don't want to be the cheapest price, and you don't, as I was referring to the black truck or the purple car, you don't want to be the cheap guy, because if you're the cheap guy, they expect cheap, but they expect you can't have cheap, fast, and quality all in the three. Like you gotta have somewhere. And I pay, or where I talk with my customers, I'm like, you're paying, yes, I do utility and I push the dirt. That's what we do, right? But it's all about time. It's not about money at the end of the day in my world. And I try and sell them, hey, I'm selling you a product of time. When I tell you I give you a 6-week schedule, I mean a 6-week freaking schedule. And I know hardscaping, retaining walls, we actually did a retaining wall in the north end of Bentonville that I probably won't tackle again. Honestly, it went pretty smooth. It was just lacking so much engineering information that we had to make all the guessing work and make it work. But are we doing any pool features? Kind of go off into what are we doing feature-wise in the landscaping world? What's kind of the mark that you see moving forward? Maybe what you'd like to get more into.
We'd like to do more patios, like larger outdoor spaces.
Yeah.
Some more water features. We've done a couple. They look good. Don't plan to get into pools. Don't want to get into anything crazy.
Oh, God.
Because then it adds. We want to take care of people right, but we don't want to get off into, like with the dirt sifting, into pools. Because that's a whole nother division. Or into fire features or outdoor kitchens. It just, things could change, but right now that's not what we want to do.
Do what you're good at.
Yep.
And it took me a little bit of time. I failed a couple of different ventures within Sycon that I should have never even remotely thought about. Didn't have the numbers to support what I was going and doing to replace whatever this or that. Or let's make sure my beautiful wife's not going into labor. Okay. We're good. We're not
Santa
going.
Monica.
Yeah. Santa. You never know. So, guys, if you don't know, me and Sarah are literally any day fixing to have baby number 3 inbound. So that's what I was referencing. Landscaping. It's funny. One of our first jobs. I got to talk about, Uncle Lendl, learning on the skid steer, and I kind of always thought it was unique to see the things at the end of the project and just the customer's smile. You know what I mean? Within the landscaping world, it's very personal when you start doing those outdoor spaces, and it becomes very meticulous.
vision-driven.
Yes. That's where I was going with that, and I miss that a lot from the residential. I was just talking about this last week where they would offer up, I don't get a set of prints and, hey, go build this. It was this mushy concept of, hey, this is what I kind of want. And I know you guys get that more or less than anybody.
Like, we could do better on our designs, but also it leaves that open end for the creativity. And we have great enough foremen to kind of work that with our residential customers.
That's so cool, man.
So yes, we should probably design certain things better, which we have in our software too, which we can also start doing now that we integrated this fall. But at least that open end, because there's that personal touch and just small things that change.
100%.
And yeah, it is fun. Some customers are hard, but it's part of it. So
it's probably my favorite thing to go out and meet with a client for 30 minutes, and I come back and I'm like, okay, we've got 3 years worth of phase work, and we're gonna da-da-da-da-da, because if you can see the family, if you can meet the voice behind the paycheck, right, and stop
100%.
looking at it like that. We've had clients come to us, and when we meet with them, inside we're just, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing opportunity. God, where did this come from? Thank you. Like, we'll be good stewards. And then you meet with them, and they've been so jaded. People look at their paycheck, they look at the house, and then they're just da-da-da-da-da, and we're like, we're not here to do anything but help you achieve that end goal, and then we want to maintain it for you. We want to be with you and grow with your family. And we've picked up quite a few of those. We call it fine maintenance. We have a horticulturist foreman on site, and that is who's dedicated. So we have one team, one crew, something kind of new for us as we're going into 2025. And they know everything about that property, every shrub, every tree, and they will take care of it in the appropriate time, the appropriate season. And so it's guaranteed, because they have families running around. They don't want 50 crews or different men coming in.
No, they do not.
It's one voice, one face. These kids are comfortable. The wife is comfortable. The husband's comfortable.
You bet. And that's a big thing.
We were very excited.
You're opening not only a whole new door there. I mean, that's
We're
crazy.
extending our culture.
And that's exactly where I was going with that. Is like you're not only milling and stirring up this culture, but you're trying to bleed it over in your customers. But what I'm trying also too with your customers, they do get to see that same gardener face or that same mowing face throughout the entire year. And you become 100% attached to them. Invested is a good word,
absolutely.
right? And you want to see them succeed. And as long as they're caring about a little bit about your yard, maybe doing a little extra every time. My yard guy, his biggest thing is, I just want to do a little bit more every single time, right? And he gets up my driveway, so that's kind of cool. But
hey, it was really nice the other day. I was going to tell you, it's really good.
It's crazy when you own a dirt company. You would think your driveway wouldn't be literally 28 feet out of a mountain.
And then you live on top of a mountain.
It is crazy. But
You better call someone to fix that.
Yeah, we did. We had a couple of days there through Thanksgiving, and we had Mr. Sam out there, and before everybody came out for Thanksgiving. But there's a video of that on Sycon's YouTube channel, actually. Guys, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention before I move on that we haven't kind of covered? I mean,
I don't know. Just be honest with your customer too, because it's like
transparency goes both ways.
Yeah, because like when I'm doing sales and like they're like, well, this landscaper told me I need this, and it's like, no, you don't. You don't need to spend $20,000 to redo all your drainage in your yard. Let's fix these two things, and you get gutters, and it's $5,000, and it's all fixed.
Yeah.
And just like drainage and grading that we deal with on new construction, especially, just because builders are, and they're throwing them in.
Yep.
But we're getting called to fix it and to make it better. And
it's not just the builders, it's the developers that are. I can think of 2 or 3 of them that we've been a part of. They just stair step the lots. It is what it is. They're not ever thinking about a yard. They're probably gonna keep that out of their contract anyways at the end of the game. So that's crazy.
Yeah, so just be honest and do what they actually need. Like don't take advantage of people. Serve them like God wants you to serve them. Take care of your employees, and it's all simple things, but they're not all easy to do.
No, man. You listed off some very, very challenging, easy said, hard to do topics, my guy. Who? Last thing for me here. Who covers sales? Mainly you?
Yeah, I'd say I do 95%. Like she's gone on a few, and
this year it just kind of fell out of the plate where I took some permaculture courses and got certified in that, and there's just been some properties that have kind of come through, and so I've been able to help navigate those sales while we're building a fine maintenance division. That's not something we had put into our maintenance at this time.
I don't know every single plant. Like I've
I don't either, Bob.
But it's been like when she was at the nursery, it was learning from her.
Yeah.
And then YouTube.
Yeah.
So like these customers that care all about these plants. She's going to go do the sales because they
like Amanda?
They care about...
Bailey put her on Amanda's schedule.
They care about plants. They don't, like... I'm going to give them the best solution, but if, like, that's what they care about...
And our vetting
she knows
process.
it better.
Why not?
Yeah.
Like, Bailey, we've really refined the vetting process as far as when we intake customers. And we want to get to know them a little bit. They want to get to know us. It's... For them, somewhat, if it's just about a price, yes, we understand that, and we can reciprocate that. But we have so much more that we give into the process and the experience, I would say, of just becoming a customer of Fay-Ark. There's an experience because you come in and you're meeting with a few really important managers, and they're making sure you know where to go and how to navigate these next steps with us. And then at the end of the guys, when they're done and project's finished, we have a post-implementation plan. Like, we're following up. There's a thank you email that goes through Marketing Pro with the Spire, which is amazing.
That's really cool.
And it's automated, So, like, we've taken all the little things that we used to do and bog us down daily, and to the point that we're overwhelmed. We know what we need. How do we execute it? We put it in that software, and then we go out and make sure it's implemented in that field.
Literally, 100%. Are you seeing, as you're moving and growing through the next couple of years, are you going to maybe implement a little bit more sales department since you're more channeled and focused on what you are tailored to do and what you built a business on?
We are, and like the next step is adding an operations manager that we're gonna start. We're gonna talk to our team about that in the next foreman meeting, and then after that, we'll start the process of that for next spring, and then kind of from there, it's gonna be growing sales because we want to triple in the next 5 years. It's a big goal, especially when you see it on paper.
Oh my God! Well, of course.
So
You got it.
yeah, so and it's getting
We've already
operations.
seen so much growth.
Yeah, it's getting operations stable, having
100%.
and just getting all that off my plate where I can sell more, and then being able to lead everyone, help everyone grow. So,
Dude, sounds like you guys you've got plans and goals and directions, and you've got that kind of figured out. And as long as you're laying that out time and time and time again for a good team, you're going to have good results every time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mistakes can be made. Things going to happen. Explosions are going to happen.
Right.
All of it's going to happen. But you take it in stride and you take it as a team and you figure out solutions together. And it sounds like you guys are nailing that. So I wanted to showcase that today here at the Blue Collar Business Podcast. You can check out all our episodes at bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com. The last final question I've got for you guys, and since you're literally, we have gone in depth about culture today. What's a takeaway for the blue collar guy? As you've grown up in a Sparky household, you can definitely relate.
and on a farm.
And
So,
farm kids,
yeah.
you bet. Workers who are sick and tired of being stuck in the mud. And that's not just, the guy down in the ditch who's literally in the mud. I'm talking about in the mud up here, physically and mentally and emotionally.
For me, and I feel for most of our team, it's like first it's through faith. Like you got to have
100%.
something you believe in more than just what's on this earth. And because if you don't have that, and like if I didn't have that, like my focus would be money. And if that's my focus, I'm not doing it's not for the right reason.
100%, sir.
And my focus is to serve people and help them grow. So the whole reason this company is going to grow as big as it is because we want to give as much opportunity to the people, to the great people that we have come work here. So that's why we do it. I'd just say
Stay in the gap.
I'm
Be in the game. Don't stay in the gap, but be in the game.
yeah, but figure out your goals and figure out what you want to do, and don't be afraid to take a jump. Whether you've been at a company and they've got a crappy culture and you've been there for 5 years and you're scared to go somewhere else, because we've seen people like that. They're like, well, I don't want to leave here, and it's like your culture in the current company that you complain about sucks, but you don't want to leave. It's just take the jump, whether that's going to start your own business or going on a date, whatever it is. Like just take the jump, and like bad stuff's gonna happen, but nothing's gonna happen if you just sit there.
That is right, dude. Don't sit in the middle of the road and not make any decision because you get run over both ways. And if you can just make a decision and stand firm in it, you might get run over only by 1 or 2 cars instead of 10 a day.
And find a mentor who challenges you. Somebody who holds
good.
you accountable, who is not in your business and not your boss, not your office manager, not anybody around you. Find somebody neutral.
Yeah, someone not biased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna tell you the truth and help you grow.
Who can put you in your place, but also say, you know what, maybe this is a different way to think about it, and help that.
100%. There's some very, very, very key role people that have helped me get to where I'm at. There's
Iron sharpens iron.
Oh, yeah. And, there's some advice that I've listened to, and there's some advice I'm like,
Right.
You listen to and
wow.
and don't touch.
Okay. We're going to go complete opposite direction because I see where that's got you, And then there's some others that have literally completely exited and are literally just trying to help me be better. And those are the people that I cling onto their time very, very gravely because they have all the money in the world. They don't care about my money. They don't care about their money. They care about time. And if they're giving me their time to sharpen me, to mold me, they have already seen something in me, or they wouldn't be wasting the freaking time on me.
It takes a lot of boldness and a lot of bravery to run a company, especially one of millions of dollars. You both sit in a situation where you're putting food on tables before you put it on yourself, and, you're doing a lot to invest there, but you have to lead by example, and you have to be prepared to make really big decisions. And I'll honestly say, I've watched Eric weigh pros and cons and watched how he's made decisions. There's times I don't always agree, and I'm like, tell me why, explain it. But I never learned and grew into my position. I didn't want to just be an office manager. I wanted to be here and grow with Fay-Ark and support, and I saw his vision. I saw
Campaigners,
your vision
man.
very early. And I've watched that. I've seen you make hard decisions, and you tell me, he's like, don't be a brat, like, da-da-da-da-da, this is what I think, or this is why he thought this, and I'm like, dang, I never knew that piece, so this does make more sense. Or that gives me a better vision for how I know I need to grow my internal team to support those guys out there.
And that's a testament to good leadership, too, but not only that, being open with your team is so huge, man, because... Go ahead.
If they don't have information that you're making decisions on as the owner, how do you expect them to understand anything going on?
100%.
Because if you just tell someone, go dig a ditch, you got to be done in a day, and it's 100 degrees, do you think they're going to be done in a day?
No.
But if they understand, hey, if I get this done in less than a day, I get a bonus based on this margin because we're under budget.
That's right.
Teaching the guys numbers was the best thing.
Yeah.
100%.
Like we're open about all of our numbers. If you
have to be.
Like,
they check them. They'll ask us, hey, I saw my numbers at this. Hey, blah, blah, blah. And we're so quick now that they're on it. I can tell, and we can tell if we had a job this week that was going to be a little over, but it was not any fault of the project or the foreman. It really was us and logistics with the truck.
Yeah.
And we reached out and we're like, hey, just so you know, this is not on you. It will affect this, but we'll make sure we go alter that. And, like, we're getting ahead of it for them. They make us better.
Yeah. Everyone's
so awesome.
Because they hold us accountable, too.
Right.
Which is great.
I know we're taking your time.
No, you're absolutely just fine. I've thoroughly enjoyed today. I've been looking forward to this. Honestly, I've seen so many people do the cutting grass thing, quote unquote, and run it for years, just him and Jim and Sally in a truck. I know of a guy and his sister that has literally mowed around here for 25 years, and he's a farmer on the side and does it just in, during the spring. And I've also seen operations like you guys. I know one of y'all's competitors that made an exit. I know him very well. And just to see the levels, the two levels that it can be done at and the one you're choosing to do, kudos. Seriously, kudos, and keep it up because it's really hard. It's really hard, and a lot of people don't even understand the hard I'm talking about and the decisions that you have to make freaking daily. Not like, oh, I got to make a decision about this year. It is, okay, if I don't make this decision, it's going to hold that job up, which kills the quarter. That means I can't bill out that, cover that, do this investment. We're not even recovered from snow. And literally,
it's a snowball
all day long.
Yeah.
But you got to literally love it and keep it moving forward and deal with your flaws and your mistakes mentally and talk about them as a team, portray them. Hey guys, nothing has done me more service within SciCon to sit here and look at my guys and go, hey dude, I was wrong. And it, man, does it hurt to say, but when they see you say or show, hey guys, I was wrong, this is how we're going to do it, and you take off that other direction, they're right behind you as fast as they can go because they're just like blown away. Like, that dude just said, what now? Boss is never wrong,
It's so much easier for them to take ownership in their smaller situations because we're talking grands of mistakes that we've made this year with just certain hirings that we shouldn't have.
One hire was $90,000.
We hate that.
Yeah, 8.
I think for 9 weeks, every week we looked at each other.
It was like 16 weeks. It just drug on, and it's like, yeah, our numbers would be better this year. We learned so much from it. Like, do I wish it happened? No, but
thank God you got the education.
Am I glad that it happened? And the person that we landed with now is 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
And it set up that division to grow for years.
And it's just funny. We were just sitting here talking about the rat race and the mind games that we have to play. And we will settle a lot of times, especially when you're growing as rapidly as you are, you'll settle for an employee just to handle it so you can keep dealing and moving on this giant mess of ball of crap that you've got to deal with just so they can go to work. And sometimes it doesn't even make any sense. But
but you have to have that hard conversation and you have to trust whoever is in that second chair with you. No, Eric trusts me to look at him and say, how many more weeks are we going to pay for this?
Yeah.
Do we continue this now? We need to cut the cord, and vice versa. If it's on my end, on our internal, he's going to say the same thing to me.
You
and
have
I'm going
to.
to trust that.
You have to. And that's the only way you guys are going to succeed. And from the information you guys have given me and the audience today, it sounds like you guys are well on your way. Don't get me wrong. It's always glitz and glammy, and that's why I've kind of hinted around at how hard it is, and so have you guys. But I really appreciate your time. Guys, if you've loved this, that literally brings us here to another hour and 15-minute podcast. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Listening weekly every Wednesday. Catch them all at bluecollarbusinesspodcast.com. And if you're here at the end and you're on a streaming platform, if you wouldn't mind giving us a rating and giving us a follow on whatever platform you listen on. And until next time, guys, y'all be safe, be kind, and be humble.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with the fellers, check out our website to send us any questions and comments about your experience in the blue collar business. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way and we'll do our best to answer any questions you may have. Till next time, guys.